gents, bout number 11 is for the Warrior Fight Series Amateur Middleweight Championship. Please welcome, fighting out of the red corner, a 24-year-old mixed martial artist, standing 6 feet 2 inches tall. He weighed in at 83.9 kilograms and has a record of 3 wins and 3 losses. Hailing out of South End, England, Jay Whyte.
So, Chris, it's the middleweight title now. We're going up in the weights, the bigger boys, and we've got Jay Whyte coming in, 24 years of age, 6'2", and a mixed record, 3 wins, 3 losses, but again, 6-fight experience.
Yeah, he's got an exceptional skill set and the athleticism and conditioning to back it up. He puts on a pace that you would not believe. Sometimes known for putting on striking, but he's got improved wrestling through his transition as well. So, coming out of a quality gym like South End Combat Academy, that lines up. He is going to come in here and look to mix it up in all positions, but he's got the power to back it up, and that's what makes this matchup interesting.
Yes, as I said, at middleweight, you see the size, you see the definition. These are the bigger lads, but when you look at the record there, 3-3, you then think of the possibility of consistency. So you wonder if the defeats are mistakes or the quality of opposition. It's never easy to tell.
Yeah, indeed. I mean, he's produced some pretty cool finishes. He's had an unfortunate disqualification at one point throughout his career, so that was one loss. Of course, maybe an error. I know it was to, I believe, a knee to the grounded opponent, but you know, in MMA, it's so difficult when the one hand on the mat rule. Obviously, you get fighters playing that all the time to avoid getting kneed in the face. So it could have happened by accident for sure, but Jay Whyte looking in good shape here, coming on in to the ring past our prep point. Cannot wait for this one.
And please welcome Jay's opponent this evening, fighting out of the blue corner, a 27-year-old mixed martial artist, also standing 6 feet 2 inches tall and weighing 83.8 kilograms. He has a record of 3 wins and 1 loss, and is fighting out of London, England, Matt Findlay.
So, as you heard from our MC, Matt Findlay, also 6'2" at the weight, 27 years of age, 3-1-0. So if you look at their records, not much between them. And again, we talk about corners. There's a young man taking off his jacket there for him. The Mr. Bostwick, Jake Brutal Bostwick himself.
Jake Bostwick, one of the very most elite fighters here in the UK today, assisting his teammate Matthew Findlay. And this is just going to be such a great matchup. Matt, he's been through quite a bit in his career. He's been waiting a long time to make his debut with us here in the Warrior Fight Series. He's had some spectacular finishes and real wars throughout his relatively brief career of around 4 years. I spoke to him a few times, and he really felt like growing up in Team Titan with some of these more experienced fighters, learning MMA from the ground up there, especially having been involved in other parts of athletics. I believe he was involved in other athletics throughout his schooling. He brought those skills into the ring and has really learned to make the most of them.
So we have 2 determined young men here. And obviously for both these young men, this title will be the next step in their career. 24, 27, they're still relatively young. And as you said, across the careers, 6 and 4 fights, this is really the next stage for them.
And Matthew, embracing the moment,
This
looking
is
to make
a
a
title
statement.
bout for the Warrior Fight Series Amateur Middleweight Championship and is 3 3-minute rounds. This bout is brought to you by Elite MMA Agency, Daily Sport and Lonsdale.
So just a reminder for you all, Jay Whyte, 24 years of age, 6'2", 3 wins, 3 losses on his record. Matt Findlay, 27 years of age, also 6'2", 3 wins, 1 loss on his career, and one of these young men is going to be the middleweight champion. And already nice foot movement from Findlay.
Yeah, I was going to say, you can see from the way these guys are moving, Jay perhaps a little bit more comfortable with that striking background. but Findlay loves to keep the action moving. He does not mind expending energy. Like I said, he's come from, I cannot remember what other sorts of sports he was playing, but he is a very natural athlete. And it translates well. I mean, we've seen that in professional MMA all the way to the very best fighters in the UFC. They come in from other sports backgrounds, and they become exceptional athletes in MMA too.
Well, it's certainly a lively start for bigger men. They're both light on their feet, so both obviously not concerned about the cardio. Some nice shots and a big jumping knee there from Findlay.
Man, Findlay explosive with those shots, in and out, and Jay Whyte doesn't really have the chance to counter. I mean, he's covering nicely. You can see the disciplined striking background that Whyte has, but Findlay is expending so much energy that it's almost like Whyte can't find him for the counter.
Well, what I like as well is after Findlay does his work and he waits for Whyte to reply, he slips outside the left hand, which he should do, as you saw there. He wasn't successful this time, but brings that hook around the outside hand, which protects him from the more dangerous right hand as well. So it's good tactically as well, Chris.
But Jay's starting to figure him out now. He's caught him with a right round kick and checked an inside leg kick counter.
Well, he suddenly started moving the wrong way. He was doing everything right. And that right hand is more effective when he slips outside of the left hand of Whyte.
He's throwing in there like a baseball player, man, the way he whips that shoulder over. He's got some serious power. Wow. Vicious lead body kick coming in there from Jay Whyte, and he covers nicely in defense. You can see again.
Beautiful kick there as well. Left-right combination, right kick. Bread and butter technique, we call it, but it works. They're there for a reason. And he suddenly, Chris, got Findlay's attention there.
And Findlay showing that attention with a double leg. You can see the way he's controlling the ankle of Jay Whyte, and then latches his legs over the top of Jay's to keep him on the mat. Jay trying to stuff that head. Ooh, got to be careful of that cage grab, getting a warning from a referee. Findlay doing beautifully to turn him away from the cage and get him back down into half guard.
Well, his timing was certainly right because Jay Whyte exploded into action, did everything right. And the icing on the cake was the low leg kick that took Findlay off his feet. But Matt Findlay did the right thing from there. He regrouped and immediately said, well, let's see what you like here.
And Findlay doing a great job holding him down, but he needed to walk that right leg out of half guard. Gave Jay too much time. Jay exploding out of there. Nice sprawl, looking for the front headlock, but Findlay gets the pass. Jay holding desperately onto that guillotine, but it will be of no avail. End of the round. Great stuff. Fantastic exchanges and a frantic pace, Malcolm.
And very even. Again, we talked about the matchmaking a lot tonight, but this summarizes it for me. Two men with an equal share of that round, and I thought Findlay started well, and especially with his movement and the way he was throwing hooks outside of the guard of Jay Whyte. But you hit it on the nail. You said suddenly Jay Whyte figured him out. And from the moment he figured him out, he really asked questions of Matt Findlay. And that's why this round is so delicately balanced in my card.
I would hate to be a judge scoring this fight with the consistency of aggression and wide variety of techniques that we're scoring from both fighters and responding to each other. Man, we're having a cracking fight unfold right here in front of this packed venue.
So round 2 of 3 after a very intriguing opening round. And again, have you noticed how quickly Jay Whyte steps in now after that first round? I felt in the opening 30 seconds at least, he allowed Matthew Findlay to do a lot of work. He's certainly not giving him that same luxury this second round.
Nice check again from Jay Whyte. It's gonna be, I think, a case of one of these guys trying to really take over, really impose their will. And it's been at such a rapid speed. They've both been going after each other. Nice double from Matt, now, timing Jay's entry.
I was going to say, Chris, I'm glad you said that, because when you talked about figuring someone out and how Jay Whyte had figured Findlay out in the first round, perfect example here in the second. Findlay was waiting for that third low kick on the end of those combinations.
Yeah, I don't know if it's a case of Whyte becoming too predictable. I mean, he's got to make use of the weapons that he has. Like you said, he's got those bread and butter techniques. Probably a lot of time drilling combinations, you know, hitting the pads, working on all of your entries. But Findlay perhaps showing a little bit better wrestling here, and that may be the difference thus far into round 2, halfway.
Especially, as you said, when you look at the end of the ground, your markers, when you look at aggression in this second round, you're starting to look at Matthew Findlay.
Yeah, Matt, ooh, there we go. Now he's starting to get the hand on the right side of the neck. So you can put a lot of shoulder pressure there. You can finish guys from this. That's called a Von Flue choke. If he was holding on to the guillotine, if Jay put that arm back over Matt's neck, you can see Matt putting the pressure now again in this side control position. He's got full side control here. But you can put a lot of cross-body pressure and sometimes tap guys from that. But Jay scrambles out nicely. Matt rides him like a good wrestler should. Holding on, you can see him hold on to that ankle
yes,
again.
as he did in the first round. You're right, Chris. Yeah. And for me, I said it's a difference in attitude and variety of technique from Matthew Findlay here in the second. As you rightly said, I think Jay Whyte just suffering from a bit of predictability.
But that being said, Jay almost, I couldn't quite tell if he hit the switch and then went to the double from our angle, but he took him down again. That's pretty crazy stuff. I don't know if Findlay was expecting him to shoot in like that.
I don't think he was, because he was in quite dominant on that part of the ground game. But this is another twist in this title fight. Suddenly, Jay Whyte is back in it. And look, again, for the judges, we've got almost the reverse. We've got the first 30 seconds, you're looking at Matthew Findlay the first minute, and now, suddenly, you're looking at Jay Whyte. And
Jay's nearly got his back there, but Findlay scrambles out and opts to retain half guard off his back. Looking for the play deep half guard here. There's a sweep if he's quick. Probably too late at this point, though. You can see that Whyte adjusting his weight appropriately to counter that move. Front headlock position. Got to be real careful here. There's a lot of different chokes from here.
Oh, transition attempt right at the end. But Chris, again, this one in particular tonight for the judges. Seesaw back and forward. They figure each other out, and then somebody does something else. I would not like to judge either of those opening two rounds.
And the audience is on their feet as Jay Whyte was in some early trouble from Matt Findlay in round two. He came back surging with a vengeance in the last minute or so. Malcolm, this is just an outstanding bout.
It is, Chris, and what I find exciting is the fact that the judges often look at who finishes the round strong. Maybe that will be a factor here. So third and final round, Chris. One thing I want to pick up here with you is cardio, because one thing we haven't mentioned across the first two rounds has been so impressive, non-stop movement. It's been an incredibly paced fight.
It's so difficult to expend that continually and somehow remain efficient as the fight goes on, especially as you go up in weight class. You know, I was commenting on guys like Gregor and some of the others earlier tonight in the lighter weight title fights. These guys are like just as active, maybe even more.
That's what I'm getting at, Chris, and what a slam as well. This is what's impressed me over the opening 6 minutes. It was, whether it was upright or on the ground, it was non-stop transitions, movement like this.
Oh, he's got his back, and Findlay was grinning as he took him down. He's loving it. I mean, as he secures this body triangle, the other thing that comes to mind is just the full spectrum and the fluidity of mixed martial arts that we're seeing in this bout. It is picture perfect. It is exactly what I would hope a first-time MMA viewer would see, and then begin to appreciate how everything happens, how the chains of submission attacks and grappling exchanges occur, and striking, setting up, and leading into it. It's such a beautiful puzzle, and these guys are playing it all.
With this position that Findlay's got now, if he's sensible, even if he doesn't get the submission, with the 2 rounds so close, if he can be dominant from this position across the 3 minutes, this could take it.
Yeah, he's reaching very deep here for going palm to palm on that rear naked choke. You'll see how his right arm is pinned and sort of pressed down Jay Whyte's spine. He doesn't have that left arm deep enough underneath the chin to fully choke the neck.
But the point here, Chris, is even if he doesn't succeed, the longer that Jay Whyte is in this position with the ascendancy with Findlay could be vital in about this close.
Definitely. I mean, and when you get to the higher levels of grappling, I mean, you know, brown belt, black belt, sometimes those rear naked chokes are never fully underneath the neck, and some of these guys will tap just from the jaw compression. I mean, I've seen jaws break from that kind of thing. So Findlay was doing the right thing for sure. He was looking to transition to an arm triangle, but Jay Whyte spins out and gets on top. Man,
this is par for the course for this bout, Chris. As I just said, that all Findlay has to do is stay in that position and keep it there. Whyte reverses it.
And with around 30 seconds to go, Jay Whyte is raining down the shots. Findlay scrambling here to probably try and get back up off the turtle, as you'll see, but nice sprawl from Jay Whyte.
He's got the guillotine as well, and I said it was, and the kick just misses, but perfect timing again from Whyte. Just when you think the fight might be going away from him, he comes back, but both are fatigued now, and I'm not surprised. This has been non-stop. For me, this is possibly the fight of the night so far, Chris.
Oh, absolutely, without a doubt. Just sick action back and forth. I mean, the way that Jay Whyte went for that guillotine and stood up and landed a round kick, 3 rounds deep, with seconds to go, he still got the energy to go for those things. And it's one of those occasions where I'd like to see a couple more rounds out of these two.
Well, Chris, I'm just about to say the same thing, because do you know what? Whoever doesn't get this title belt can rightly feel slightly aggrieved. I feel it's that close. Both men in each of the rounds had so many good moments back and forth that it's almost a shame that one of these two men has to lose, but one will. And I think, you know how emotional you can get on the night. You wouldn't understand. You see that them getting aggrieved because this is on a knife edge.
There can be no loser here. Both of these guys coming in, laying it all on the line, putting it all out here in what very well may be the performance of the night in this middleweight title bout.
Ladies and gents, after a 3-round war, we go to the judges' scorecards, and we have a split decision in favor of the winner and new Warrior Fight Series Amateur Middleweight Champion, fighting out of the blue corner, Matt Findlay. Could you please put your hands together one final time for his opponent, Jay Whyte.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am here with your new middleweight champ, Matt Findlay. Now, Matt, they call you Rampage, and now I think the audience knows why, my man.
Thank you very much. I'm so happy to be here. I'm so happy to perform for you guys. I just want to shout out to my team, Mickey Pappas, Bola, Jake Bostwick. Without you guys, I wouldn't be here having this belt today. All Team Titan, Chris Fig, I love you, I thank you. All my family, my friends, I thank you. I'm on a journey to be the best middleweight in the country. This is only the beginning.
Now, Matt, that pace was relentless. I would not have wanted to have been scoring that fight. What do you feel was the difference going into the 3rd round as you went after that takedown and had his back?
I think it came down to between me and Jay Whyte. As we're fantastic amateur fighters, it came down to sacrifice and adversity. I think I've been through more adversity in this training camp than Jay Whyte. I got put on for 9 weeks straight by Cage Warrior veteran, UFC veterans. Nobody could take this away from me.
With training under guys with Jake Bostwick and the rest of the crew there, that has obviously paid off in your hard work, young man. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, your middleweight champ.
Whoa!
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm here with our runner-up, Jay Whyte. Now, Jay, as I said earlier, that was one hell of a fight. Who knows what was going to happen there when that judge was handing in his scorecards. Give us your thoughts on the performance.
Yeah, I enjoyed myself. I enjoyed it. I tried my best. He's very strong. I give it 100%. Thank you, man. A lot of people have said that already. So yeah, everyone's got their opinion, but obviously it's up to the judges. So yeah, I enjoyed myself. I tried my best, and yeah, that's all I can say really. So thank you. Thanks for the opportunity. Thank you.
Jay, from the reception here in our audience, it's very clear they want to see you fight again here. What's next then in the Warrior Fight Series?
I'm not sure, man. I'll have to speak to my 2 coaches, and yeah, we'll see. So just rest, have a couple of days off, and just get back down the gym and just get back on the grind, you know? So.
Thank you once again for a spectacular performance. We look forward to seeing you again in the Warrior Fight Series. Jay Whyte, ladies and gentlemen.